Someone said, lesson, don't break laws in other countries. Things could easily go left. In some countries, having weed could mean death penalty. Yikes. Point me to those countries. So I don't smoke weed, but if it means death, I don't want to go there. I don't care.
Do it cause I said that. Fold you with your legs back. Switch it like the doggies. Pull your hair, reveal your wig cap. That's I've been on. Bust all on your skin tone. Always on that freak. Just call me when your man gone. Steady talking about how you gon' ride it like a pony. I'ma need you to come on over here and show me. Shot a Casamigo, got your body feeling haunted. Checking for your man cause that leave you lonely. Throw that back, let me show you who run it. Pulling out tricks, ain't nobody who done it. We ain't making love, you love it. Nothing else on, just a condom in the bucket.
Let's talk about Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj is across the pond in Amsterdam. Well, she was in Amsterdam to take her Pink Friday 2 World Tour to Manchester. And she was arrested and detained at the Amsterdam airport because apparently she had some pre-rolls in her bag and they wasn't feeling it, I guess. It was kind of like a multi-part situation because first, Nicki Minaj posted this video that showed the pilot of her airplane, her jet or whatever, talking to her about the police wanting to do a more thorough search of her luggage. And Nicki was saying, like, why didn't they do that the first time? That she didn't know what bags that they put on the plane and why they didn't do that before they went on the plane, etc. The pilot in this video says something along the lines of the police guy was upset that you were filming him, in a nutshell. And that's the reason why they now want to do a more thorough search of your bag. That apparently they didn't believe that what Nicki told them she had in her bag was all that she had in her bag. So something transpired prior to this video, but this is what we've seen in the video, where he's like, they want to search your stuff officially, thoroughly, open it all up, take it all out, all that good stuff. And then fast forward, not too long after, Nicki Minaj went live on her Instagram, where she was now surrounded by police.
Carrying.
I'm not carrying.
I think it's.
I'm not carrying. Number one, when I came here,
yeah.
the
okay,
back.
You can go inside.
No, I'm not going in there. I need a lawyer present.
Okay, please.
Where am I going? I have no idea where I'm going.
You have to go to the police station.
And there's a little bit of a language barrier. The English is clearly not the police officer's first language, it seems. So he's trying to explain to her why he needs her to get in the vehicle. And then he ultimately says, you're under arrest. And that's why you need to get in the vehicle. And Nicki's confused. She's not really trying to get in it, but ultimately she does. And she says, oh, so I'm under arrest. And he's like, yeah, for transport. And it turns out it was pre-rolls. And it confused a lot of people because Amsterdam is known to be one of the countries that's where it's legal. You can roll up and spark up. But I think where it becomes an issue is when you're transporting it, like on a plane or whatever. And I don't know if it's a weight thing. I don't know if it's you can only have one pre-roll and she had 10. I don't know how they justify when it becomes like illegal, if you just can't do it at all. But nonetheless, that's what they found in her bag. Apparently, she was saying it belonged to her bodyguards, but I guess because it was in her bag, they needed her to come with them down to the station. After she was arrested, people was wondering what's about to happen? Because, you hear stories about people in other countries, and when it comes to going to jail and stuff, no one knew exactly what was going to come out of this. But the police posted on Twitter, they said, we have just released a 41-year-old American woman who was arrested this afternoon at Schiphol of suspicion of export and soft. It was written in Dutch. They said after consultation with the Public Prosecution Service, the suspect was fined and can continue her journey. So good news. I don't know how much she was fined, but good news that that was all that came about this. But her show ended up having to be canceled. It was already filled up. All of the fans are already inside the arena, and they were just waiting. And then an announcement came over the speaker telling them the show was canceled, that it would be postponed. And it's probably because, you know, most artists, you got to do like setups, you got to do like sound checks, etc. prior to your show. No matter how many times you've done this show, each venue is different. Every venue you have to do a sound check. You have to check the logistics of the whole staging and everything. And I'm guessing Nicki Minaj wouldn't have had time to do this prior to them opening the doors to the people, so they had to cancel the show. Someone said only in certain controlled areas, apparently in Amsterdam, are you able to spark up. Someone said bodyguards be the fall guys. I definitely had that thought. Definitely, because why not? Why am I paying you unless you're gonna take the fall for me if they find this illegal substance on me? Someone said lesson, don't break laws in other countries. Things could easily go left. In some countries, having weed could mean death penalty. Yikes. Point me to those countries. So I don't smoke weed, but if it means death, I don't want to go there. I don't care. Someone said, I'm not even bringing hemp lotion to other countries just in case. Yikes. Yeah, you definitely never know. And some countries are just extreme in that way. We've seen what happened with Brittany Griner with her vape pens in Russia and how she ended up spending months in jail for that. So it's just like, yeah, let me buy it over there. If I really feel like I need it, buy it over there. Just, you know, because sometimes things just don't go as planned. Nicki Minaj apologized to her fans. She ended up at the hotel that night. A bunch of fans lined up outside of the hotel, screaming, chanting her name, Nicki's free, and all of that. And Nicki said, I wanted to honestly tell you that I love you and I'm so sorry this happened. She said, please, please, please accept my deepest and most sincere apologies. She said she sat in a jail cell for 5 to 6 hours. It's kind of unfortunate that happened. The venue, when making the announcement that the show was postponed, they said, despite Nicki's best efforts to explore every possible avenue to make tonight's show happen, the events of today have made it impossible. We are deeply disappointed by the inconvenience this has caused. Tickets will remain valid for the rescheduled performance. So apparently they're looking at sometime in June or even July to reschedule that. Yeah, we'll see what happens once it's rescheduled. Nicki Minaj is, though, she's doing pretty well, to say the least. Her tours are selling out. And she also just announced that she's doing a second leg of the North American part of the Pink Friday 2 World Tour. So that means she's coming back here to the States to do more dates, just in case you missed it the first time. She said in a tweet, the first US leg of the Pink Friday 2 World Tour was so successful, I was offered a second leg beginning in September. Sign up now and tickets will go on sale in a few more days. She said, wow, God is good. Don't you ever give up. You got this. So there's already some RSVP links to sign up for cities like Kansas City, LA, Birmingham, Cleveland, Dallas, Jacksonville, St. Louis, New York, and a couple others. So if you missed it the first time around, she's spinning the block and you get your chance to check it out. Yak City. Yeah, fast shots to Nicki Minaj. Good thing nothing too bad happened here with this incident, but like that commenter said, let this be a lesson. don't break laws in other countries. And even if you don't know that you're breaking one, look it up. Make sure that you can transport whatever you're transporting. I know friends here in the States who just go like to another state and they take all the extra precautions when it comes to like bringing bud and stuff with them, because it's like, you never know, even here. So definitely in another country, I wouldn't do it. What else is hot in these blogs? Apple Music have announced their 100 best albums of all time list. This is of all time. Not in the last decade, not in the last 5 years, 20 years, 50 years, of all time. Every album that was ever made, ever created, they were able to narrow it down to 100 and put it in the list. Who's on this list? Where they fall at is what the big debates are, particularly the top 10. Anytime lists like this come out, I know I've talked about it on this show a few times when Rolling Stone be putting out their list, and it's like, who did y'all ask? Who was behind this? That's just what happens when it comes to lists. Apple, they said in a statement that with the announcement of this 100 best albums of all time, they say it's a celebratory list of the greatest records ever made, crafted by Apple Music's team of experts alongside a select group of artists, including Maren Morris, Pharrell Williams, J Balvin, Charlie XCX, Mark Hoppus, Honey Dijon, and Nia Archives, as well as songwriters, producers, and industry professionals. They say the list is an editorial statement, fully independent of any streaming numbers on Apple Music. So who's on this list, and do we agree? I'm gonna skim through the top 100 and I'm gonna focus on the top 10, but from the 100th, let's see, 98, Travis Scott, Astro World Tour. I'm scrolling down. Usher took the 95th slot with Confessions, and already this is telling me that this list is about to be crazy, because how is Confessions all the way up at 95? But we're going to keep going. Solange takes the 93rd slot with A Seat at the Table. Scrolling. Nina Simone, I Put a Spell on You, has the 88th slot. Snoop Dogg, actually before Snoop, Mary has the 86th slot with My Life. Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style has the 84th slot. 50 Cent is up here with Get Rich or Die Trying. He's in the 82nd slot. Eminem, The Marshall Mathers LP is in the 80th slot. Missy's up here with Super Duper Fly in the 75th slot. SZA in the 72nd slot with SOS. Still scrolling, NWA made the cut with Straight Outta Compton, number 70. De La Soul, 3 Feet High and Rising is number 65. Erykah Badu with Baduism is in the 64th slot. Scrolling down the 100th best albums of all time. Sade, actually Tupac. All Eyes on Me, 62nd. Sade, Love Deluxe, 61. Now we hit in the 50s. D'Angelo Voodoo album takes the 57th slot. Rihanna Anti album, 55th slot. Still scrolling. Prince made it with Sign of the Times, 51. Drake made the cut with Take Care. He's in the 47th slot. Stevie Wonder in the Visions took the 44th slot. Janet Jackson made the cut with Control in the 42nd slot. Outkast, Aquamini, 41st slot. Aretha Franklin, I Never Loved a Man the Way I Love You, 40. Nas's Illmatic, 39. Wu-Tang Clan, Into the Wu-Tang, 37. Beyonce, with her self-titled album, took 36th slot. Biggie is in the 32nd slot with Ready to Die. Who else? Tribe Called Quest, 29. With the Low End Theory. Ye with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy is 26. I'm just skimming through this list. Who else? Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, got the 17th slot. Adele took the 15th slot with her album 21. Jay-Z made it with The Blueprint. He's at number 13. And now we're approaching the top 10 list of Apple Music, what they consider the best albums of all time. Top 10. Beyonce made the cut for a second time with Lemonade as the 10th. Nirvana, Nevermind, takes the number 9 slot. Amy Winehouse, Back to Black, takes the 8th slot. Kendrick Lamar's Good Kid, Mad City, takes the 7th slot. Stevie Wonder made the cut again with Songs in the Key of Life, number 6. Frank Ocean, top 5 album of all time with Blonde. I don't even know if I ever heard that album in its entirety. I probably just heard the singles. Prince and the Revolution with Purple Rain took the 4th slot. The Beatles, Abbey Road, is the top 3rd album of all time. And the number 2 slot goes to Michael Jackson, Thriller, number 2 slot. And the number 1 best album of all time ever made, ever created, according to Apple Music, is Lauryn Hill, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. When I first seen this list, I immediately was like, Thriller is number 2. I ain't too mad at Lauryn though, being number 1. It was just definitely a dope album, and it should be up there. But personally speaking, they could probably be interchanged. I don't know. But I'm not mad at it. But there are some other albums in this list, and especially in this top 10. I'm like, damn, we're talking all time ever made. And I don't know. And music is subjective, like I said, but Ebro, from Ebro in the Morning Show in New York, he, who is a part of the Apple Music brand, he pointed out the criteria that they were asked to judge these music albums from. So it's supposed to not be their favorites, but I'm sure there are people who voted for their favorites despite what they were asked to do. So he said voters of the 100 best on Apple Music were challenged to not vote for our favorites, but albums that represented a cultural moment for the artist or genre, albums that were complete thoughts, not just collections of hit songs, albums that thoroughly represent culture and production and lyrics, albums that inspired a generation to want to create more music, albums that represent the best in storytelling, musicianship, recording, and production, and albums that are timeless and reached far beyond the genre categorization. That alone should eliminate some of these albums that made that cut. So some of these people definitely voted for their favorites without question. Someone said, and how R&B has been heavily ignored is troubling. Agree with Jermaine Dupri on that. Yeah, I definitely, Jermaine Dupri wasn't feeling it. Someone said, Off the Wall should be top 10. Definitely. And yeah, I mean, based on that criteria, there's some things that just probably shouldn't have been in there. For the people who aren't feeling the fact that Lauryn Hill is number 1, Ebro said, you may not think Miseducation of Lauryn Hill should have been number 1, but you have never heard a better lyrical and conscious hip hop and R&B display that reached as far as this album did. Nothing. Yeah, like I said, I'm not mad at Lauryn being number 1, but there are a lot of people, I guess, who are feeling the way about it. I mean, what do we think? Who do y'all feel should have been on this list? Who's not? Let's just focus on the top 10. Who do you feel should have made the top 10 of this list? that's not there? Or would you rearrange a few that's in there? Let me know in the comment section. There's always gonna be charts and lists, but it's never gonna be where anyone agrees, ever. My list is definitely not gonna look like any of y'all's lists, and vice versa, because music is subjective. But if we're going based off the criteria that Ebro said, then that may change things a little bit. If we're taking our bias out of it and just judging based off of those things, that may make the list look a little different. If we're honestly voting and not still just throwing our people in there. But we'll see. But yeah, let's move on. Speaking of music and albums, a lot of people wondered when the revelation of Diddy and Cassie came out and the video came out, and even prior to the video coming out, when the lawsuit first came out and him settling and all of the accusations and other civil suits came about, many people wondered, how will this affect the music? And we go back to people wanting to mute artists based off of their wrongdoings and that whole debate on, can you separate the art from the artist? If an artist does something that you don't agree with, or is just so like heinous or whatever, like, can you still rock with them and listen to their music? And would any of this that came about affect the Bad Boy catalog or Diddy's music? And so far, one company has said, yes, it is gonna affect. Peloton, if you're familiar, if you're into like fitness and stuff, you've likely heard of Peloton. And if you got a couple dollars or you're a little bougie, you might actually own the bike in your crib right now. And it's a workout situation where you select certain classes and stuff, and you can look at it right on the workout bike, and you get it in your crib to this, and it'd be songs that we know and love, albums that we know and love, that these curators do their workout routines to. Diddy's music won't be one of those options to choose from. His music has been dropped from Peloton. They released a statement. They said, we take this issue very seriously and can confirm Peloton has paused the use of Sean Combs' music, as well as removed the Bad Boy Entertainment Artist Series from our platform. This means our instructors are no longer using his music in any newly produced classes. Again, thank you for sharing your concerns, and thank you for being a member of our Peloton community. Is it right? Should they have done this? I don't know who the people are that reached out and expressed their concerns about, I don't want to hear any Diddy music in these classes, but that's what happened. My thing about this is, I feel you can separate the art from the person. I feel like despite anything that a person does, I feel like you could still listen to their music that came out way back when or whatever, like, and it doesn't mean that you agree with what they've done. It doesn't mean that you are like standing behind them and supporting them. You're just enjoying the music that you've been enjoying and you love, some of your favorite songs. I'm not gonna just not listen to my favorite music anymore. So, and then where do we draw the line with that? If we're going into that territory of muting artists based off of their wrongdoings, when it comes to somebody like Diddy, who has his hands in a lot of the music, it's not just music that he put out, but it's music he produced, music that he may have like written on or whatever. Where do we draw the line with that? Do we stop all of it? Because I feel like if you are gonna say we're cutting out Diddy's music, we're not supporting Diddy's music no more, if you're gonna stand on that, you gotta stand on it 10 toes officially and cut out everything. That means the entire Bad Boy roster. That means Mary J. Blige. That means Biggie. That means all of these artists who are not him, but just had their music produced by him. You gotta cut all of it out if you are gonna draw that line to say you are cutting out his music. It's only right. You would have to. So if you're willing to do that, go ahead by any means. Not streaming anything, but you got to do that. You can't just cut out Last Train to Paris or the Love album. Like, you got to cut out it all, because if the reason you're doing it is because you don't want him to benefit from your streams, he's benefiting from all of that. Anything he was a guest artist on or whatever, he's benefiting from that. So just know, if that's the road you want to take, it's your prerogative and you can do that, and by all means, but you got to take it the long way. Cut out it all. So ain't no half stepping. You got to. Someone said, when I hear a song, I associate with my own personal memory. I don't necessarily associate it with the artist's life. I think about my life. That's a good point, and that's absolutely true. Music, you're definitely listening to a certain song and it brings you back to that time. You're not thinking about like, oh, Diddy was in the studio going in on this joint. Like, nah. So that's definitely a good point. Someone said, maybe this is why he gave those artists back their masters. Yeah, I don't know. Can you guys separate the art from the artist? Let me know in the comments if that's if you can do that or not. But yeah, we'll see if anyone else removes Diddy's music from platforms. And sidebar regarding Diddy, a lot of people was feeling like they felt he should have mentioned Cassie's name in his apology video, and it turns out he couldn't mention it because of the NDA that was signed. So for those who felt he should have mentioned her name in it, that's the reason why he didn't. But yeah. Let's move on. What else is hot in these blogs? Last but not least, I wasn't going to talk about this because even though I get into politics a little bit, it just wasn't really, I ain't really like care like that. I thought it was super funny though. So I posted it on the Holliewood and Friends page. There was a woman who ran into Marjorie Taylor Greene in the airport. And I think it was the airport. It might have been a train station. I don't know. Somewhere in DC, this woman ran into Marjorie Taylor Greene. And if you are unfamiliar, last week or so, there was a House Oversight Committee hearing where Jasmine Crockett and Marjorie Taylor Greene had a back and forth, which Marjorie started. Marjorie made a comment about Jasmine's eyelashes. She said something like, your fake eyelashes are getting in the way of what you're reading, something to that effect. And Jasmine just made another comment like, we going there? We talking about appearances now? Let's get it. I've been waiting for this moment. So Jasmine made the statement. She said, if someone on this committee then starts talking about someone's bleach blonde, bad built, butch body that would not be engaging in personalities, correct? And the room erupted. Now everybody banging gavels and cut order in here and all of this. It was a whole mess show over there. And who knew? Well, I kind of knew because it was funny, but who knew that this would take on a life of its own? And this statement now, which is a tongue twister, try to say it 3 times fast, would have gone viral in the way it has gone viral. And Marjorie, you opened up that door. You opened up that can of worms, and now take all of that, take all of this that's coming your way behind it, because nobody told you to fix your face to say anything about this woman's eyelashes. So, hey. So, fast forward, to a few days later, a random woman seen Marjorie in the airport or whatever in DC, and she said, "Oh, hey, bad built beach body."
Bleach blonde, bad build. How you doing today? How you be? You didn't like that, huh?
And I posted it because I'm like, yo, this is like the quote of the year. And that video alone kind of like took off, and so many people in the comments were finding it funny. And then all of a sudden the comments took a turn because all of the like races came out of like all of the crevices. They crawled from every rock they're under and created a bunch of fake Instagram pages or just logged into the ones that they already own. And they started commenting on this video saying all of the stereotypical Black things you could say. And it's like, really? Like, be original. Think of something else, because it's not sticking as much as this bad built, bleach built, butch body, whatever Jasmine said, has stuck. But I just find it kind of pitiful that y'all are ignoring the fact that Marjorie started this whole thing. Jasmine didn't just randomly pick on her and say this out, and now everybody's repeating it. Nah, she started it. So, hey, this is what comes with it. So don't be mad. Don't be mad. Check your girl. And don't just expect Jasmine to take the high role and now she's the villain in this incident because she said something that was funnier and that stuck and that everybody's repeating. Like, big shit. Stop. Watch your mouth in a nutshell, Marjorie. And I bet in the next committee meeting, she'll probably think twice before she makes certain comments at the end of the day. Someone says she looks like Hulk Hogan. I can't unsee it. It is hilarious. But yeah, it's a little funny. And hey, that's what happens. You can check out the video at Holliewood and Friends on Instagram and see what all of the fuss is about. Someone said, Jasmine says she must not have dealt with a Black woman like her before, LOL, and she learned. Absolutely. You're going to learn today. Someone said, Jasmine been waiting to say that. That came out too smoothly. Too smoothly. The staff probably calls her that. It definitely rolled off real easy because I tried to say it and it was a tongue twister, but she definitely had that in the clip. Just waiting. But I mean, to give her some credit, you know, Black women are just felt like that, and like just off the cuff, like you might not want to get into an argument with one of our Black sisters because they gon' that tongue lashing. Sheesh. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. So Jasmine is actually capitalizing off of this viral moment, and she has took out the trademark for that line, bleach blonde, bad built, butch body. And she's gonna create merchandise behind it. So now, Marjorie, you're gonna have to walk around DC and see people wearing t-shirts and sipping out of coffee mugs, maybe in the House committee meetings that say bad built, bleach blonde, butch body. Yikes. Once again, just think twice before you insult people, because that comeback may not be what you want to hear. And it may sting that much more than what you said. So there's that. But fat shouts to Jasmine Crockett for creating the quote of the year. And someone says she's a national treasure. Yeah. I like seeing the clips of Jasmine in her in that environment, in these meetings. She be, you know, letting them have it. Like, And I love to see it. Love to see it. I think that's gonna conclude what's hot in the blogs for this week. Thank you for watching. If you rock with your boy, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know below your thoughts. It's called Holliewood and Friends. I want to hear your thoughts on the topics I just discussed. Let me know. And subscribe to the channel. New episodes every week. Deuces.